Hello students, welcome back to the next session, that is of functions or member functions defined outside the class. Now you have learned the difference between definition inside the class and outside the class. You already know what you mean by outside the class definition also. Now there are some characteristics that you are supposed to remember when you are going to make use of your member functions outside the class. Now what are those characteristics? The first thing, always remember the number of arguments and type of arguments. Remember the number of arguments and the type of arguments in member function must be the same. Must be the same as the number same as the number and type of arguments declared in class definition, because you are doing it separately outside the function, right? So you have to keep in mind it has to be the same in both. And then this next point, a scope resolution operator. A scope resolution operator, you know which is the scope resolution operator, right? This is your scope resolution operator. It is used, scope resolution operator is used while defining a function outside the class. Defining the function outside the class. It makes the function as a member function even if it is defined outside. So this is very important. Then next, the different classes may use the same function name. You'll come across this later in the next chapter. We'll go in detail about this. So it can have the same name, and then as it is a member function, it can also access, even if you are defining it outside the class, it can access the private data in the class, in that particular class. And then return type indicator indicates the type of the value a function can return to a calling function. These are the points that you are supposed to remember while defining a function outside the class. Now the next part is declaring the objects of there are many different objects in the class, many different students in one particular class. So you have to tell which student you are using, right? In the same way, we are going to say we have to declare which object we are going to make use of. We have already given an example for the inside the class definition and outside the class definition, but you may not know which exactly was that. So we'll explain this here. The classes are defined to create objects of that class. So objects are created like a normal variable declaration, except that the data type is the user defined type class. Earlier, when you are defining a normal variable, if you are going to define or declare a normal variable declaration, how do you do this? You used to give it as int a, b, right? This was your data type. Whereas when you are using the object, that is when you are declaring a object, this instead of this data type, you are going to use the class name and then the object name. This is your syntax for your declaring an object. Okay, so a declaration introduces an identifier and describes its type. It may be a type, object, or a function, but a variable declaration is done in an object that is a user defined type class. So the syntax is class name and object name. These objects can be either one or two or many, depending on how many you are using. Okay, so this is about your declaration of a object. Now if you remember earlier program, that is inside the class definition and outside the class definition, after your main we used area A, right? Remember, so this area was the class name and this A was your object name, and using this object you are going to access the members of that function, that is accessing of class members by functions, right? This is done with the help of this object name, that is we said here area A, right? This was the class name, this was your object area, class name, A is your object name, right? And then later if you remember you used A dot get data, right? And then A dot calculate, A dot display data, right? All these are your accessing of members by functions. So this is about your accessing of class members by function. And the next part in this is arrays as data members of class. Arrays as data members. As we said earlier, in this particular part, the previous example, we used here finding the area of only one particular circle of giving one radius. Now what, there are many such things. Now for example, easier one to remember would be to remember or understand would be, now you are entering the marks of a student, marks of a student. So what are you going to give it as? The name, for example, the variable will be, the declaration will be character name that can contain 20 letters, right? So name of one student, but or you are supposed to enter the marks of one student, we are just going to enter it as marks. If you are supposed to enter the marks of maybe 100 students, you cannot go on giving it as marks 1, marks 2, marks 3, etc., right? It makes the program lengthy and difficult to understand. So what would you do? If you remember your arrays, you are going to declare it as integer marks of 100 students. So marks of 0, if you remember, marks of 1 up to marks of 99, that makes up 100 students, right? This is how you are using your arrays. So arrays means if you are using only a few data members, individual variables, in this way is okay. But if when a program requires more number of similar data elements, then the concept of arrays is used. So an array can handle the homogeneous data elements effectively by storing them in continuous locations. This is about your arrays as data members of a class. Now the next part, array of objects. Again, if you remember here, we said when you are declaring an object, it can be either one single object or more than one object, right? So an object combines data members and member functions. So it is also possible to declare the array of objects. So that means it can be declared as same as an individual object declaration, but just with an extension, that is the size must be specified along with the object name. Now for example, you said in the earlier program, if you remember, we said area of A. If you are finding the area of more number of elements, then you are saying you are going to say it as area. We'll give the syntax first. The syntax will be class name. If you remember the syntax declaration of an object, class name and object name, right? This was the normal object declaration. This is your normal object declaration. If you want your array of object declaration, array of object declaration, if you want to declare this, then the syntax is class name. Just see now, it is the same as the earlier one, the normal object, class name, object name, but you have to specify the size. You are going to say it as size here. So example, your class name, we said as earlier programs, if you remember, area, object name was A, you say 10. Okay, so this is your array of objects. So we'll continue the rest in the next class. A smaller part is that I think we'll finish this here itself. Objects as function arguments. Objects as function arguments. Now, there are different types of functions that one can create, right? So whenever you're using functions, arguments can be passed or need not be passed also. So these arguments may be individual variables or an array of data members. So objects can be passed to a function in two methods. This we have done last year. Two methods, that is pass by value and pass by reference. Okay, so what is this pass by value? In this pass by value, a copy of an object is passed. Copy of an object is passed to the function and uses the copy of the original data for processing. Therefore, whatever the changes that you make to the object members will not reflect. That is, whatever the changes is done in the copy will not be reflected in the original. The original remains the same as it is. The next is your pass by reference. So what happens in this method? Here you are not passing the value, you are passing the address of the object. Address of the object is passed to the function. So when you are going to pass the address itself, the initial address of an object is passed to your function and all the data members are stored in continuous memory locations. Therefore, a function will use the original data. It will use the original data for processing. It uses the original data for processing. So whatever the changes that you make will be reflected in the original values also. So changes appear even outside the function. Whatever the changes you are making in the copy will be affected. The original values also will change. Here the original values remains the same. Original remains the same in pass by value, whereas the original will also change. Okay, so this is about your classes and objects, and with this we finish this session, and along with this I'll be sending you the notes for this lesson and also the questions that is supposed to be answered for this lesson also. Remember, I'm telling after each and completion of each and every chapter, answer the questions either in your notebooks or a paper, scan that and send it to my email ID. Remember, handwritten copy to be sent, and your original hard copy should also be kept along with you, and when you come back to the regular classes you are supposed to show it. So I am again repeating my mail ID. After the completion of this chapter, only 2 days time will be given. Send it to this mail address. Thank you.